Hello, hockey fans. We're here for a new episode of Five for Talking, just before the season here. So we're going to kick it off. I'm here with Caps. We're going to just jump right into this. The salary cap might go up by 10 million, apparently. I know that. Thanks for your great input there. So I'll give you the breakdown. It's by next season, it's supposed to go up by 1 million. And then the following season, it will go up by 5 million. And then the next season, it will go up by 4 to 5 million.
Sorry, how much is it going up next season?
1 million.
Why didn't you just bring it up to 5 mil right away? All the teams this year are struggling to be cap compliant, and you think 1 million is really going to help everyone? Might as well just go even if it's 3 mil. You know what I mean? That would help a lot of teams right now. I'm not too sure why they would only bring it up to 1 mil next year. I'm not sure. What do you think about that?
I think that they should make the salary cap 100 million. And I think that they should put caps on contracts so no one can make more than $12 million a season. If you're going to cap something, cap how much people are paying the players so that teams can't just sign everybody in the league, right? Because you're just making it difficult. How are teams, small market teams that have these up and coming players, supposed to retain these players when they, first of all, don't have that much money, and you put a cap on what they can do on top of it?
It's an interesting take because we could see right now that players are, trying to get more money, and just based on what happened in the last month, you had Nathan McKinnon making the most amount of money in the NHL right now, beating McDavid by $100,000,
Which
was it 12.5?
It's my favorite situation because he specifically said out of his own mouth in an interview that he was going to take a pay cut on the next one as well. So, I mean, but he deserves it. It's not like he doesn't.
I guess he doesn't have to anymore because Kadri is not going to be there. So,
yeah,
this is going to be tough. Re-sign Kel McCarr.
No, they're gonna pay whatever he wants,
mm-hmm.
and they're gonna get stuck in a Leaf situation.
Yeah. But it does help that the cap does go up $10 million in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So, it'll go up 1 million next year and 5 mil the year after that. Is that what you said?
It goes up 1 mil, 5 mil, and then 4 to maybe 5 mil the next year, depending.
Well, the Leafs are definitely going to need it because you have
Austin Matthews is going to become the highest paid player in hockey.
Yeah, but at the same time, William Nylander's contract expires as well, so he's going to be looking for more.
They're going to lowball the shit out of him.
I hope they do.
I honestly have a feeling they're gonna lowball him, and he's either gonna take a really short-term contract at a reasonable price, or he's just gonna walk.
I think he's gonna.
I could see him taking 1 year.
Yeah, you know what? I just thought of it. Just went over it in my head again. He might take a small contract until Tavares' contract expires. Because there's sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. That was I didn't even think of that. They're going to let Tavares walk. There's no way they're re-signing Tavares.
Well, either they let him walk or he takes a pay cut.
He's not going to take a pay cut, I don't think.
Well, I don't see him re-signing for $11 million again.
He is okay. So I'm not going to say he's a bad player. He's not a bad player.
No.
He's a point per game guy.
Yeah.
That one season, though, this is funny because I was having this talk, and this conversation is going to come up again as we have another subject later. But that one season where he got 47 goals was an outlier. He's never done that before, and he'll never do that again. It doesn't matter who he plays with or anything. That's not what he is. That just happened to happen that year. Yep. And you can tell because his whole rest of his career is steady, just basically a point per game guy. He's not a 47 goals, 100-point guy. That's not what he does. He gets you 30 goals and 80 points.
Which is fine.
I agree, but not for $11 million. It's not fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
If
and
you look at
that's why Nylander is going to have like an argument, against us. Like, okay, I'm getting the same amount of points as him. I should be making $11 million too. You know what
I
I mean?
mean, if he does what he did last year again, he's going to have that argument because there were points of the season where he was the only player producing,
Correct.
and then again in the playoffs, he was the only player producing minus whatever he did defensively that was bad. But
Can't argue that.
so it's kind of like it's a weird situation. So I mean, $10 million is nice. So I guess we're already talking about cap. We might as well talk about Leafs cap.
Sure.
They are now $3 million over with the signing of Rasmus Sandin. They signed him at 1.4 million. I'm sure there's a crap load of bonuses thrown in there because it seems really weird that they've been offering him the same contract the whole time, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere he took it. And the excuse is that he felt bad because all the defensemen got injured. Yeah, no. I feel like there's an under the table deal where they're like, we're just gonna accidentally send you $2 million to your bank account. MLSE, okay, let's not pretend this. The Leafs can afford anyone in the league. The Leafs could have 5 Connor McDavids if they wanted.
Sure.
It's not the point. It's the cap that hinders what the Leafs do.
Correct.
This is the only sport where a Canadian team or a Toronto team has infinite money to throw around and they can't. Do you know what I mean? Like baseball, like they will, but they're very like frugal, the Blue Jays. And basketball, they have a cap as well, and they never all seem to make that huge monster signing, barring the 1 or 2 situations that happen.
Yep.
But I mean, it's a really weird situation we're stuck in. Like, I don't want to stay on this for too long, but at this point with the injuries, so we'll bring up the injuries right now. Since we're already here, you have. I'm sorry. Okay, so you have John Tavares, who's out till for I think like 2 weeks of the actual season, or like okay. You have Peter Engvall, who's supposed to come back. Wait, is it Pierre Engvall? Yeah, no,
it's Pierre.
Okay, Liljegren is out till November.
Yeah,
and then you have Dahlstrom out till April, but I don't even think we were going to use him.
No,
and you have Jamie Benn out till basically the end of October.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to help.
And Muzzin is having issues as well.
Well, they said that according to reports, he's got back issues. He's always had back issues, but it just comes up periodic. Like it comes occasionally, creeps up on him. So he is saying that it's not too worrisome. So, he's already practicing with Sandin today. So, I don't see him out for a long period of time. But, the fact that they have all these injuries kind of gives them some breathing space with their cap issues. So I guess the question is, what do they do? They're probably going to have to waive a few players.
The Hall situation is out of the picture for me because of how many defensemen you have injured.
For now, yeah. Yeah.
So, like I said, the only real option you have is Kerfoot. Unless you're just going to go on a waiving spree and you're going to run the Marlies with basically nobody on their team.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Like, I know we've had this conversation before, and I just feel like Dubas has something up his sleeve, and we don't know what it is. And
I think it has to be Kerfoot.
I don't know.
Because his contract is exactly what covers the cost of what they're at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the rumors are going on that they're talking to Chychrun. So
yeah, but they can't afford him.
Yeah, you would think that. And I just don't understand how they could be talking to him in the first place. I don't know. I have no idea. It'll be very interesting to see what they do. But
if you sign Aston Reese for a minimum contract. Okay, this is the only possible way I see this whole thing working out. You sign Aston Reese to a minimum contract, and Chychrun, if you end up getting him, let's just say, you need to sign Aston Reese, and then you need to trade Hall and Kerfoot, and they need to retain almost all the rest of the salary, and that will keep you like $1 million under the cap.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the logical thing to do. Um, I'm kind of floored. I don't have no idea. I
Yeah,
really don't know. I have no idea what,
it's progressively
because
got worse.
it has progressively got worse, especially with the signing of Sandin. But you know what the funny thing is? Like, there are a lot of teams in the situation, a lot of teams. Um, and I have no idea. Does it work itself out when the season starts? Like, do contracts get buried? Do when people get waived, do they relieve themselves of some of the money
But $3
or the
million
cap space?
is not variable. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, I really don't know. I have no idea. They have a lot of forwards. I think they're really trying to get hoping for Robertson to make the team that he steps up so that they can put themselves in a more comfortable position to trade somebody with a sizable contract. I,
Nylander.
I it, yeah, I have. It's crazy, man. It'll be very interesting to see in a couple
You know
weeks.
what? I forgot about that option. You really do have an option of trading Nylander, especially if Robertson's going to show up. But he's not ready.
And
Robertson is still a year away. And
yeah, I just don't think they got the cojones to do that.
I don't think that they can pull it off
No.
realistically. I don't know. Like you said, it's progressively got worse, and it's going to be hard to dig out of this. I don't know what they're going to do, but let them figure it out. That's on them. All right.
That's on them.
But you know what? Back to Cap one more time. Not you, but like the Cap.
Okay.
I think they should introduce a luxury tax, like how they have in the NBA. So you can go over, but you got to pay.
And this goes behind your point that you made before. Like, the Leafs would have no problem affording that.
Because then
No problem.
it wouldn't even be like a bad thing in the sense of like, oh, now the Leafs are going to start hoarding all the good players in the NHL. No, they're just going to be able to pay everybody that they have on their
Yep.
roster.
Yep.
Like, I'm not saying it like a team should be able to sign anyone like the old days when New York Rangers had everyone in the whole NHL on their team.
Yep.
But you should be able to keep the roster that you have because every year you're taking away that team's chance of winning the cup by making them lose their own players. Do you know what I mean? They're not
Yep.
even trying to sign anyone new. They're just losing. But meanwhile, Carolina's just sucking up everyone in the league over there, and somehow they're okay.
And for so long, Tampa was just,
Yeah, the Tampa cheating. We know Tampa
you know,
cheated.
I guess you can only go so far before people catch on,
You know
and
what? They're going to look back at this 20 years from now, like how they did in baseball with steroids, and they're going to be like, oh, crap, Tampa and Vegas were cheating this whole time.
yeah, and
Um,
Tampa won two
I
cups while
know.
they,
I
so they're
know.
going to be like, maybe we should do the same.
Anyways, moving forward here. So we might as well talk about the Leafs lines and we'll save the last subject for last. So I was presented with sort of a question based on rumors on Toronto radios about inside scoop that the Leafs are planning on shifting the lines permanently to have Marner back on the second line with Tavares and Nylander on the first line with Matthews. So before you even talk, I'm going to just get this out of the way. I don't think Marner and Tavares are good together. Outside of that 1 year, they've never done anything when playing together. It seems like they can't play together, honestly. Okay, because on the power play, Marner does not play with them. He plays on the defensive position, so that you can't count that. And Nylander and Matthews, okay, that might work. But why would you pair two goal scorers together and pair three playmakers together? Then if you add in the fact that Kerfoot's probably on the second line and Bunting's on the first line, you have three goal scorers on the first line and three playmakers on the second line. Explain to me the logic behind why. If this is the Leafs that are actually planning to do this.
Yeah,
Like
I
if
don't know if it's just like them, starting rumors and stuff, or whatever the case may be. And, you got the rumors coming out saying they're going to try Marner on defense.
that's only because Marner made that stupid comment.
Yeah, it's just probably, yeah. I mean, outside of that 1 year where Marner played with Tavares, I really didn't see that much. And then they actually, during that time, they tried Nylander and Matthews together, and they didn't really have much chemistry as well.
but
outside of that
they
first
do
year.
they do work better than Marner and Tavares do.
Yeah, I mean, if you've spent so much time to build chemistry with a line mate, why try and fix something when it ain't broken?
And go, sorry.
Sorry, no, please go ahead.
So I don't see that situation. Like people are like, oh, maybe it's going to balance the lines more. But in my opinion, the lines are already pretty balanced. So doing that doesn't really change anything. And if you look at the last couple of years of teams that have won the cup, okay, they're built the way the Leafs are now, with two powerful top lines, a third line that can score but is defensive based, and a gritty fourth line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what the Leafs have ever had before. They've, like we said, 2 years ago, the Leafs had the most star power they've ever had on a team. Last year, they had arguably the best team they've ever had on paper. This year is probably the most well-rounded team they've ever had. And that shift for me doesn't make sense because, like I said, looking at those teams, Tampa Bay had all their best players on one line.
Yeah.
Who won last year?
They tried
Colorado.
that last year, though, eh?
Colorado
like the Leafs tried that.
Yeah.
The Leafs tried that last year, like the analogy that you have, and that is have a really good defensive third line and a gritty fourth line.
And it worked.
And it worked. I don't know why they didn't.
But now it's better. Now that roster has improved even in those aspects.
Yeah, they're pretty deep. They have options. I don't think Kerfoot being on the second line is a good option. I think it's an option that they can always go back to, but I think he's more effective putting him on the third line. And then
they're trying to recreate Bunting. That's why.
Yeah. I think that first line with Marner, Matthews, and Bunting should not be changed at all. It worked well last year.
Yeah, why would you change it?
Don't change.
Like I said, look at the team that won last year, Colorado. All three of their best players play on one line together. So why? What they won a cup? You know what I mean? And they do have a good second line. Tampa Bay had a good second line. It's not like they didn't. And Tavares and Nylander is nothing to scoff at as your second line.
No, Tampa had a good third and fourth line too.
Yeah, but their third and fourth line are not players that you're going to look back at and be like, "Wow, what a career that guy had." They're impact players.
Who's the centerman for Tampa's third? Was it Nick Paul, I think, or Nick?
Last year, I don't remember. It might have been Nick Paul.
He was the guy that pretty much eliminated the Leafs, and he was on the third line. So, it's a great thing to have good depth players.
Yeah, and that's what they have right now.
Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see because if Robertson can make a really good case for himself, they're gonna have to make some really difficult decisions because Pierre-Engvall is still out, and they got a lot of good players, and they're gonna have to make some really, really hard decisions. It's pretty much you're right. I think they're trying to recreate the first line and second line. It's just I even there were parts of last season where I saw Tavares kind of clearly it looked like he was a bit frustrated with Nylander a bit. So I don't know. They're gonna have to I think they're going to have to, take a look at that second line again and figure some stuff out. If they put if they put Robertson on the second line, it kind of, evens it out a little bit. You got a goal scorer, and
I agree.
Guy, and another.
He's still not ready.
Scorer. But
he's still not ready. I've been a big advocate for him, and this, and I've learned throughout this offseason that he's not ready.
I'm a big advocate of him too, but if he's clearly not ready, then he's not ready. Like you said, he hasn't been ready. So yeah, I mean,
and he's still
how
young.
many chances is he gonna get?
He's still so young. Like you don't need to push him now. I think he just turned 21. Like what we don't need to destroy him right now. Let him learn and get better.
Yep.
And preserve his contract. He still has his 3-year rookie contract, as far as I know, because he's never exceeded the amount of games.
Correct.
So that's all I have on that. Do you have anything else on that?
No, I don't.
Okay, so we'll jump to the last thing that I have, And it's well, three in my opinion, huge retirements. Earlier we had Duncan Keith retire. There's a few other ones. This seems like the year of defensemen retiring. So Keith Yandle, PK Subban, and ZDENO Chara all retired. I think it's unquestionable that of the three of them, Chara is an all-time great. And he's a lock for the Hall of Fame, I think.
Yeah. Between
the other two, do you think either one of them has a shot at the Hall of Fame?
No. For both.
So I genuinely, so I'll give people stats just in case anybody cares. Subban has an all-rookie nomination, a Norris Trophy, and 3 All-Stars and a Clancy, which, I mean, that's not bad. But I genuinely think he's not going to make the Hall of Fame, even with that. So, I mean, that is what it is. But Keith Yandle, okay, so he has nothing. No accolades. But he has the Iron Man streak for most games consecutively played of all time, 989.
Which will get passed by Phil Kessel this year.
But I still think maybe he doesn't get put in the Hall of Fame as like a player, but his thing is going to get there. Like his name is going to enter the Hall of Fame at some point.
Maybe. I just don't think having a consecutive streak is worthy of going into the Hall.
It's funny because
you think he was forced out?
I think that they were threatening to just not play him anymore because of his contract. And he was like, I'd rather just leave on top and just get out.
You think he got scared of Tortorella a little bit?
It could have been that. It could have been that. Because, like, really, realistically, like, I mean, I think he's 36 or 37, but he could still play. He was still decent.
So can Subban.
That's my thing. Subban's only 33, and I genuinely think that he's not going to play this year and he's going to come back next year.
It's a possibility. He's still young enough.
Yeah.
I just don't think he was getting offered a contract that he liked, but
he's made his money. He had two massive contracts. In my opinion, he's going to leave and he's going to come back next year or the year after and sign a $1 million deal on a team that's trying to win a cup, like a Pittsburgh, or you know what I mean. It probably won't be Pittsburgh at that point, but
and I think can he not retire like throughout the season as well?
Yeah.
So yeah, because there's also those rumors, and they're just rumors that Spezza might do the same along the way, like throughout the year. Like, you know what I mean?
That was a huge loss for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But and I honestly, I think it was because of cap reasons. They convinced him to just like, we'll give you a spot on the team still, like as a management person.
He was only making $750,000.
I know, but that $750,000 freed up $750,000 to sign one of those other guys that they got. Right? Yeah, right. Yeah, it's an awkward situation. I do think Subban will be back, and a lot of people have been arguing with me about Subban will make the Hall of Fame. I genuinely think Yandle has a better shot at making the Hall of Fame than Subban does, especially if you go just by career statistics. He's played 1,100 games. He has like 200 more points than Subban has. He might not have any Norrises or anything in his trophy case, but he has the Iron Man streak, which is far more than what one Norris trophy means in Hall of Fame standards.
I just put him in the same boat. I mean, they really, for me personally, I don't think they've done enough to enter legend status or you know.
No, I agree.
Like
Chara is cemented.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Oh, Chara has won Stanley Cups. He's played since he's like 43 years old. He's, let's face it, he's an attraction. The guy's 6'9". He's physically beaten people down, manhandled people. He's a true leader, captain a team to a Stanley Cup.
And he's one of the best players to come out of his country, which I think means a lot. Like neither Subban or Yandle are one of the best players in their country in that position.
No. No.
I think maybe had Subban played until 40, because if he could stay healthy, let's say, because we don't know, it could have been injury related. And had he played another 7 seasons, I think maybe he had a shot at the Hall of Fame. But that's obviously not happening.
I think Subban just wanted to get his podcast career going.
I mean, maybe he's just tired of the injuries, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not
We'll
sure.
see. Anyways, that's all I have.
I'm good.
Thank you guys for watching. Let us know who you think would make the Hall of Fame, and have a good day.